I'm Ian Aberly with Office of Information Technology. Today we're going to be exploring some of the new things in our Appspace 6 upgrade for our campus digital signage. I want to thank you for taking the time to join us as we explore some of these new features. Today's webinar is intended for current users of the Appspace digital signage, but new users might benefit from this too. So as I show some of the features, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat window, and I'll be happy to cover them at the end. Today we're going to focus on 3 of the new features of Appspace 6 upgrade: the common library, cards, and multiple user group support. Most of the show and tell part of today's webinar will be focused on the cards feature. I think for many users on campus, this will provide an easy way to update content directly with Appspace without the need for Photoshop, PowerPoint, exporting those files out and then re-importing it in. You can actually do a lot of that directly now within Appspace. So let's begin. I'm right here on our appspace.smu digital signage page. To get there, you can just go to smu.edu/appspace. I'm going to go ahead and click the login button to get started. I'll log in with my SMU ID. Now you will notice that it still requires the SMU / to log in. And one thing you'll notice is that our dashboard is a little busier than it has been in the past. The dashboard displays information about widgets relevant to your login. And so what you might see here would be different based on your login versus mine. As an admin, I'm seeing the several different networks that we have on campus and the overall health of pretty much the entire Appspace system right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump to my demo section, which will look probably a little closer to what you will see when you log in. To do that, I'm going to click on this little user icon in the right-hand corner, and under my location, I'm going to click Change. Now, why this is important, and later on, as we talk about our multi-user support, or sorry, not multi-user support, but multiple user group support, which allows you to now be a member of multiple networks instead of just the one that you have been set up initially. So I'm going to go ahead and click Change. Now scroll down to my demo, click Save. There we go. So when you log in, this is probably closer to what you'd actually see in Appspace. You have your recently updated signs over here on the left. I have 2 down here. Any content that's been allocated to those signs, any widgets that have been recently updated also show up here. Over here on the right-hand side, we have our player health summary. Right now you see we have 0 players registered, 0 online, 0 offline, and 0 need attention. And that's due to the fact that none of these demo signs are actually playing live on one of our player PCs. Now for you, you'd probably see that you have 1 or 2 registered, and hopefully both of those will be online. But if there's any problem with their health or network connection, it will show up right here. Now, I'm going to come over here to my hamburger menu on the left-hand side. I'm going to, well, I guess let's go ahead and just show you the new library content area. So if I click the hamburger menu, go down to content, over to library, you'll see what you're fairly used to seeing over here is the images and or folders that you might have set up. Now, I have organized, as you can see, several folders here on the left-hand side. What you'll now also see down at the bottom is the new the new common library. Now, what's unique about this is anything put in here is made available to anybody on campus. So anybody using digital signage here on campus can come here, click on logos, and pull in a logo to use directly into their digital sign. Anything that's in this RSS cards, they can actually use that. We'll talk about cards in a minute. So if you have a file that you'd like to share with other people on campus and have them display, say, on their digital sign, you can actually upload your image into this area and then just shoot them a little IM on Skype and say, hey, would you mind putting this up on your sign? And they can just easily find the content right here and add it to their library as needed. Also, if you're sharing with multiple people in your own area, it's a great way to just kind of put files there. This is also incredibly helpful for anybody who is actually taking advantage of the multiple user group support and need to have files that are available in different areas. So if I happen to be in the Meadows group and I have my Meadows library there, that same library of images would not be available to, say, somebody in the Lyle group. But if I put in my common library, it'll be available to people in both those areas and actually every other area on campus. Now, let's talk about cards. Cards make it simple for anyone to create, manage, publish information and content in Appspace using built-in themes, or you can even create new ones. Now, these themes are automatically formatted for different devices, aspect ratios. Some of them, the built-in ones, are announcements, data tables, donut charts, Facebook, RSS, and a general announcement one, which I find to be probably the most versatile. To see those, I'm going to come over to my demo here. I'm just going to create a new content. Now, you can see the upload media, which you should be available. You can see the upload media, which you should be familiar with, because this is how we've been putting content into Appspace up to this point. But now you can see we can actually do a create card right here within Appspace. I'm going to go ahead and click create card, and you can see the options that are available to me. So like I said, there's the data table, donut chart, Facebook, even Google Slides, line charts, RSS feed, the social media by ScreenSpire, WebView, even YouTube, all right here within this as options. Now, I said the announcement is probably the most versatile. This multi-card allows you to basically format updates, event promotions, birthdays, menus, much, much more, all using that simple card structure. The data table, donut charts, line charts, that allows you to basically import data or manually enter data and have it automatically stylized into one of those features or styles, like a donut chart or data table. The Facebook card will display your newsfeed from any Facebook page by linking it to this card. Unfortunately, though, with the recent privacy issues and changes in security within Facebook, it's kind of broken this card. This was probably the one I had biggest hopes for, but since we're behind but because of the recent issues with Facebook, that's no longer available. Now, if you'd like to actually take advantage of some of those features, Appspace is working, trying to get that approved, and they're in talks with Facebook, hopefully to get that working again. But until then, the social media one by ScreenSpire will allow you to actually pull in some of that Facebook content too. The only downside of that is you actually have to create a ScreenSpire account, and you're limited to one freebie for creating content on your cards. The RSS allows you to easily display any RSS feed by linking it to this card. And the YouTube card will allow you to play a single video or even a series of videos using that card layout. The web view allows you to easily display a live web page on your digital sign. Now, these all can be used as a complete, these all can be used to fill up your digital sign, the 1080p full resolution, or you can actually have it play in a little window too. These are just like any other content that you pull in, except for it's dynamic and pulling in live data from the RSS feeds or the Facebook or YouTube, pulling in that content and playing it. So let's go ahead and create some cards. First one I'd like to show you is how easy it is to create an RSS feed. I'm going to go ahead and click on this RSS feed. There we go. It's right here, put in some default to kind of see how that slide or card will be laid out. I'm going to go ahead and paste in the address I have for my RSS feed. I'm going to go ahead and click validate. And you'll see it starts pulling in content directly as a preview with my feed. Now you can customize the layout here. So whether you want it a list view, where it kind of shows you multiple things on your feed at the same time, or for me, I prefer the carousel layout. I like this nice smooth sliding in and out. You can actually have it show feed images if they're in there too, and you can change the interval. So if you wanted to be a little slower and spend more time on each slide, you can, or if you wanted to go quite quickly from one to the other, you can do that too. I'm just going to leave it at normal for now. I can also stylize the text if I want to change that, and the background color. I'd like the more SMU color blue, I can put that in there. What you also see is that it has the option here to upload a file directly to that. So I happen to have here on my desktop. It'll also allow you to drop a file directly here if you want to use that for your background for your feed. I happen to have one right here on my desktop that I can just drag and drop right there. And now let's put the OIT logo behind the feed. I just click next, and then I can give it a title. I can even set an expiration date if I want to for that card, but I'm just going to leave that here. I can add tags here if I want to make it searchable. So OIT, RSS, there we go. Hit save. And now that card will be available to pull into my site, or sorry, pull into my layout. While we're here, let's go ahead and create a few more cards, and then we'll just put them all together at the end into our sign library, or sorry, into our digital sign. So I'm going to create another card. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and pull in a live web view. Just going to enter a website. There we go. Click next and give it a title. Save. So that's very helpful if you have content on your website that you want to show and have display live, and so people can see, hey, here's my calendar, or here's our new events, and you can just have that pull in that live information directly from your website without having to type it and put it back in. While we're here, let's go ahead and put in one more. Let's do the announcement card. I think this, like I said earlier on, this is the most versatile card available. So I'm going to click create card. I'm going to choose my announcement. And what you'll notice here in our announcement, one of the great features here, you can actually drag a font file right here, and I'll use that on our site. So if you want to be able to customize your headline with a little more flair than what is built in, you can actually use that custom font. You can put a headline in. You can see right here, there's an area for a headline, a summary, even a logo spot right there, and a picture image. I happen to have a few of these, and what we're going to do today is create a menu for one of our areas. So I so happen to have some text here of what today's special is. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that and bring that back into my here. Put the summary there. I'm going to put the today's special as the heading. There we go. And you can see I can do some bolding and change the size. Obviously I'm going to have our bacon wrapped shrimp here with wild rice, grilled vegetables, and a fresh multigrain roll. I'm going to go ahead and select this, and we can go ahead and change that font size to be a little bit larger. Again, we can change the font that's being used. Then even if you wanted to indent it there as a bullet list, you can do that. Got a little extra there. For some reason my bullets are not showing, but I'm just not going to let that stop me now. So, and you can even customize the background, or like I said, add the image into that spot there. So I have an image here of our bacon wrapped shrimp. I'm just going to drag that right there. And you can see it fills up this space. One of the things you also might notice over here is these two little icons. Appspace 6 is Appspace's first venture into multi-display distribution. So you can have images on your digital signs, but the thought is also you can push this stuff, content out to phone or mobile devices, tablets, and the like. So you can actually click a preview and see how it would look on the phone version versus the digital sign version. You can actually change how whether it's a uniform, so it keeps the shape of my image there, or it just goes ahead and fills the space up. I think I like to fill in the space up a little bit better. And you can see we can change different kind of layouts and stuff here also. I think I like version 1, 2. And you can actually see some other options here. Options to flip vertically. Oh, and there's even an option here to remove those image margins. There we go. Oh, that's looking good. I like that. Let's see. Let's do this too. On the heading here, we can actually go ahead and center that too. Great. So we have this wonderful slide showing our special for today. I go ahead and click next. I can give a title. Can even customize it. So if I'm creating a bunch of these, I can go ahead and turn these on. I can give it a tag, like I said, here, menu. Just put a comma will go ahead and turn that into a tag. Hit save. There we go. So I've created 3 cards here. I've created the RSS feed, the live web view, and our menu board. So let's go ahead and put that into practice. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my signs. And I'm going to create a new sign for adding these cards. I'm going to call it go on advance here. I'm going to call this our Appspace, Appspace 6 demo. Click OK. You can see we have several templates to start off with. I like starting off just with a blank slate, so I'm going to choose the blank one and just click use this template. You'll see I have sign updates here. I can preview it. Right now there's nothing there, so that's going to be blank. I will also have the option here to edit, and of course that's where I want to go next. So I have my new layout to start off with, and it's going to be the default 30 seconds, so playing on that layout. If I want it to stand a little longer, maybe for the menu or something like that, I can actually type that number in here and have that extend a little bit. So let's go ahead and add some content. I'm going to go ahead and click the visual editor button here. Now what you'll see is this will load. Now if you ever get stuck with this just kind of spinning and never loading, that's usually due to your Flash player not being enabled. Unfortunately, with Appspace 6, Flash is still required. If you do see that error, there will be a little drop down here where you can click the enable the plugin, and that should fix that quite quickly. I'm going to go ahead and add my media, and in this case I'm going to select one of my cards. So I'm going to come to my demo section here. I'm going to select that one first and click apply. You can see it puts it in a nice little corner spot over here. If I go ahead and hit save, it will go ahead and render that. And start pulling in that content. Now I want this to kind of fill up the entire space, so I can go ahead and just type in some numbers here. I'm going to put 0, 0, so I'll put it up in the top left. And then I can go ahead and put in 1920 by 1080. So that'll fill up that entire space. Now what you'll notice is as I typed in those numbers, the digital sign actually dynamically changed, or sorry, not the digital sign, but the card dynamically changed to meet those specs that I was typing in. So if I wanted it to be half a screen here, I'm just going to put in, make it square. I can do that, which allows me to put more content here if I wanted to. But as you can see, it automatically and dynamically resized to fit that content space. Actually, kind of looks good like that. I might, yeah, you know what? Let's leave that there, and let's go ahead and let's see how the menu, if we pull in our menu item there, will look. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add Media. I'm going to click back on my demo and pull in my menu item there. Click Apply. It's going to pull that in. Again, it's trying to put it here. I'm going to start it off at, I think the other one ended at 1080, right? So I'm going to put 1081. I'm going to tell the height to be 1080. And right now it's kind of falling off the edge here. So let's go ahead and shrink that a little bit. I'm just going to go with 800. I want to leave a little space there on the edge so it doesn't get clipped. There you go. So as you can see, it's gone ahead and put, since I've done a vertical size shape, it's resized that to that mobile view for a special. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and this one I need to, I'm going to name that just so I know where it is, and click on this one, and I'm going to call that one RSS. And give this whole thing news and food. And hit save. Now, if I had a digital sign, or this actually attached to a digital sign, in about 30 seconds, the digital sign out in my lobby or wherever the signage is located will flash and start downloading the new content and start displaying the changes that I've made. So I have these two here. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Didn't need to do that since I had already clicked it before. I'm going to go ahead and close that one. I'm going to add a new layout. I'm going to call this website. Click OK. And I will just add that last widget that we created, or that card. Live web view, click apply. Again, I'm going to have this take up the whole space. So I'm going to do 0, 0, and I'm going to do 1920 by 1080. And then I'll just hit save. Take a little while for it to refresh, but I'm going to go ahead and close that. And there we have. So I have my news and my new food side and my website. Now, if you want to take advantage of the cards, the only downside is a lot of our players were set up with the old DirectX application, and unfortunately, the cards are not compatible with that. So we have a new Windows universal player, Appspace player, that we can push out to signs, and we're doing that right now to make that happen. And that way, everybody will have access to these cards. All right, let's go ahead and one more thing I want to mention. This version of Appspace now allows users to be members of more than one user group. So previously, if you were part of Meadows Museum Group, you could not access science in the Meadows School of the Arts group, but now you can. This is great for a few users that flow between several areas, helping out with creative content. So we have some people who are with student affairs, but also doing content in residential commons. Now they can easily get to both of those. So that's pretty much it. These are just some of the highlights of Appspace 6 on campus. We have a little time for questions, and if you want to, just type into the chat window there, and I'll be happy to answer them if I can. Okay, so let's look at some of these questions we got. All right, so the one cool feature on the fonts, yeah, that for some areas that are using the the bright sign players, the font features are going to be extremely helpful and point in some different fonts and stuff. We're going to be doing some more in-depth demos on cards and stuff later on this semester, and we'll definitely show off how that can work. Let's see. Any way to have your Instagram feed show up? Well, yeah. So the Instagram feed can be shown two ways. One, you can use the live. If it's a public feed or a public Instagram account, you can use the live web view. Or if you can pull an RSS feed from the Instagram, you can use the RSS feed. And I did say there was that other third one here. Let's get to that. If we go to our library on cards, let's go ahead and create a new one. Our demo here. And what you'll see under this create cards, this social media one here by SceneSpire actually will allow you to pull in a lot of social media feeds directly into it. And it does have a really nice kind of tile feature, so they will be one slide on top of another, and so they kind of all fit and flip and kind of work. If you know the origami screensaver on the Mac OS, it kind of looks like that. Let's see. Can we configure video walls in this update? Well, we only have 2 video walls on campus. Everything else is actually just a regular screen, even though it's spread over multiple screens. The only 2 official video walls on campus are the ones in the Humphrey Lee Student Center, and the other one is over by the Hope Lobby over in Meadows. The Hope Lobby one is completely run with a different system, just do the configuration of that. But the one that is in Humphrey Lee would have access to that. But the 4-up in Meadows Museum that could easily pull in any of this content. The ones over in the library with the giant signs, those all can have be used with the cards feature. Let's see. Thanks, this is very helpful. I wonder, I'm very happy to hear that. Can we adapt the social stream for others? Yeah, we have a bunch of social stream apps and stuff, and so yeah, the social media one actually really is cool. You can actually pull in several different feeds from several different areas, and have multiple users' accounts. All right. Well, I think that's it there for the questions. Again, this is Ian Aberly with the Office of Information Technology. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today and learn about some of the new features in Appspace 6. We'll be having more information about Appspace in coming weeks, and probably we'll be doing another, not probably, we will be doing another Appspace demo where we can spend a little more time talking about how to get started and stuff in Appspace. The interface changed a little bit, so we will do a complete walkthrough for beginners and new users for using Appspace. If you have any questions or anything, please, as always, feel free to contact the help desk at 214-768-HELP, or you can email them at help@smu.edu. For more training, please see smu.edu/IT training. Again, Ian Aberly, Office of Information Technology. Thanks for taking the time.